and you're listening to the Inside DKK podcast.
The greatest podcast in the history of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu podcasts, perhaps. Inside BJJ. What is going on, my gentlemen? How are you guys doing today?
Hey. Peachy, how are you?
Doing great.
Peachy Keen. Hey, this is Tim from Inside BJJ. I'm here with producer Andrew. He's got the cap flipped around backwards.
Mr. Cool Guy.
Yeah, Mr. Cool Guy over here. And we got O Martinez over across the table there.
What's up, guys?
Good to have the crew back together again. So I know last week I told you Kimoy Anderson was going to be on the show, and he just never called in. He's supposed to be on the show today. I confirmed with him about an hour ago, so he should be calling in about 20 minutes or so. We'll jump him in. And then a little bit later from, this guy's gotten famous off of this incident. Gatorade needs to sponsor this guy.
Infamous, maybe.
Yeah, he basically blew a fucking chunk load of blue Gatorade and tuna fish salad all over the scores table at ADCC West Coast Trials. John Combs will be joining us. Can't wait to talk to him.
Sweet.
And
when
then,
I saw that video on Instagram, I had forgot. It had reminded me that I hadn't eaten yet.
yeah, right. You got hungry? You're like, ooh, are those peas?
That looked good.
Peas and carrots.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have Cam Hurd on, who did decently at West Coast Trials, as well as John Combs. John Combs had won several matches up to that point. And then Varela was showing out,
He's
dude.
on fire, man.
Just
Yeah,
he's in a video game, and everyone else is in real life right
Yeah.
now. That's what's going on with Varela. Like, he literally Street Fighter 2'd a dude. Like, he Street Fightered him. And the guy just went, the thing is the dude went passive. Like, oh, I provoked you. Now I'll take the high road. I'm a Redditor. And he just stood up, and then Varela's just like, nah, you're going to get slammed.
Yeah.
Bam.
Varela brought him to hell.
Yeah, he did. But good times. I really enjoyed watching the matches and got to catch up with Raf Esparza and Jake Watson on the Grappling Hour this week. Yeah, check that out if you have a chance. Grappling Hour on YouTube. I think we're going to keep doing that after PGF. We just decided that we're going to keep it going.
Oh, cool.
Once a week.
Awesome.
And just, keep doing it. It's pretty entertaining. I'm having a good time doing it. It's nice that I don't have to do anything but show up and just basically talk shit, which is pretty fantastic.
Is that different from what you do?
It's slightly different. Here I have to, ultimately I got to whip the children if I have to.
You have to yell at me.
Yeah, But that's kind of fun and enjoyable.
It is a bit.
Speaking of yelling at you, what's going on with this bit? You said you had a couple bits or a segment or you had some content, and we're like, is it good enough? And you're like, I don't know, guys. And I'm like, okay. Then you're like, you're setting me up. And I'm thinking, you're the one that said you had the bit.
Yeah.
You said you had the content. So.
But he's doing what a producer does, right? He does it. He hits you with the tease.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Omar.
Tease.
Yeah.
Come on.
Appreciate it. So, you are miscontextualizing how that conversation went. Anytime you ask me a question when I know we're about to start the show, it's usually a setup to just start yelling at me. So
That's not true.
I get upset.
I have to get in the mood. It's how I warm up for talking.
Yeah, that's true.
It's how I warm up my voice. It's how I get in my persona.
Right.
And Coach, I worked really hard on trying to come up with some good ideas for the pod. What do you think? Well, are they fucking worth it?
Yeah. Well, are they going to work?
They might. They probably won't be.
Are these ideas good?
So I saw one of those stupid things that going around on Instagram every now and then that I thought was kind of funny. So the idea is you put in your birthday.
Yeah. Oh, this is why you're asking me my birthday.
I was
earlier.
asking you
I
guys'
thought
birthdays.
he cared. I was like,
Oh no, I knew he didn't care.
Negative.
I thought he was trying to steal my data or something.
See, I
already have a company card.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, oh, he's putting it in his calendar. Negative.
I did actually put it in my
Oh,
calendar.
look at that.
So
You put a heart by it.
You can go fuck yourself.
Yeah. A note next to it: when to kill Omar.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On his birthday.
It's the same day.
So
Yeah, baby.
the meme that's going around, and I had seen it before, and it's not new, but it's I realized I hadn't done this with you guys. It's type in Florida man and then your birthday, and then the first article that pops up is your
wow.
like astrology
That's
Florida
a good
man.
one. Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
this.
it's not bad.
Let's see it.
So let me get this share screen up.
Do you need
to-
the year?
No.
Okay.
Just
You can add the year for some flavor because
Yeah.
there's no shortage of Florida man.
just the month and the day.
I just put the month and the day
Okay.
for this one. Who do you want to do first?
I think we should do Omar first.
Omar first?
Yeah.
All right, let me share screen real quick. Experiencing
this.
a
There
Better
little
be some
bit of
good ones
lag.
in there.
Yeah, I mean, that's lag's gonna lag, man.
Lag's gonna lag.
One day we'll have a proper network. Got to get that Hollywood money like Rafa Esparza.
Yeah.
Man, I set this up and StreamYard is screwing me over on the pod right now.
Okay, it's like, is it ready? Oh, it's ready.
Yeah, it's ready.
It's a new thing.
It's ready enough.
Is this like Internet 4.0?
So-
It's a little different.
Here it should be coming.
Okay.
This is Omar.
All right.
Omar, if you'd like to read your Florida Man astrology headline.
Oh, shit. Here we
Oh,
go.
let's see here. Florida man in Easter Bunny outfit arrested after hit and run crash. Troopers
Oh, shit.
say.
A Florida man dressed in an Easter Bunny costume was arrested. Oh, by the way, it's January 24th.
Oh, got you. Okay.
A Florida man dressed in an Easter Bunny costume was arrested last Thursday after he attempted to evade deputies following a hit-and-run crash in Seminole County, Florida.
Beautiful.
Gosh.
Trooper was dispatched to a traffic crash involving a motorcycle. Investigators said the driver failed to stop at a stop sign and then collided with a carport and collapsed on a vehicle in the driveway.
Wait. This fucking carports are very Florida. You know,
Oh, for
like
sure.
y'all got a
Yeah.
garage, we got a carport. I had a
Oh, yeah.
carport for 20 years, so I get it.
Yeah.
This dude crashed into a carport, like not a house, not
Yeah.
a garage,
Right.
not a parked car. This fucking guy was already in the driveway. He was already home safe. Like the carport is the driveway
Yeah,
for
right.
all intents and purposes. Generally, you drive into the driveway and then under the carport. It doesn't start
Sure.
at the street. This fucking dude made it onto the driveway, and then somehow, instead of turning the car off, I'm going to take out one of these poles and
Yeah.
fucking knock this thing down. That's great.
Jeez.
Was this a motorcycle?
The way I'm reading this is that this dude did all this on a motorcycle.
God
and then
damn.
Trooper said the motorcycle struck a chain link fence and flipped over. The motorcycle driver was seen limping across the yard.
Still
Wow.
made a run for it.
Was it his carport?
No, it wasn't his. It was some random,
Dang.
unfortunate asshole's carport.
Holy cow! This guy's Evil Knievel over here. He's
Yeah.
like the failed Evil Knievel. I
Yeah.
can't get one stunt right.
They saw him limping away. They just saw like a mullet, like whipping in the.
Had to be. And like meth scabs.
Yeah, nice.
Who next?
Let's go. I'll go. Let's go. Throw me in there.
So Tim got.
Put me in the machine, man.
Tim's got May 9th. Let's see.
This is very
Where's my screen share? There it is.
entertaining. I like this game.
I like it too. Tim, if you do the pleasure.
Okay.
Once it gets on there.
Yeah, there's a little lag on the
Here we
load up.
go.
All right.
May 9th,
May 9th.
2016 for reference.
Oh, I like this. This is right up my alley. Look at this guy's eyes. Holy shit. Wow. I don't even see his whole face, just half of his face. Oh, this guy.
Oh, it
this
keeps getting better.
Oh, Jesus.
Read us the headline, Tim.
Okay, Florida man who tossed alligator through drive-through window ordered to stay away from Wendy's.
That's it.
That's the punishment.
That's it.
Hey,
Look,
man.
man.
I don't know what other Wendy's you go to, but not at this Wendy's.
Not
you
at this
can't.
one, you know.
We were going to let you go, and then actually Dave Thomas checked in from Wendy's and was like, nah, you can't. You threw, first of all,
That's a fucking wig.
how the fuck do you throw an alligator through the drive? Do you know how
Had to
many
have been
things?
a little alligator, right?
Well, I don't know. Are there little alligators?
Yeah, well, I mean,
Like a baby one?
Sure.
Where'd you get a baby alligator?
It's in Florida. Where do
just-
you mean? Where do you get a
Grow on
baby
trees
alligator?
down there.
You got to like snatch it from a mama alligator, though,
No,
right?
they don't. They're
Not
not
really.
like protected
No?
like that.
I don't think so.
You fucking guys don't know. You're acting like you're Steve Irwin down there. No way, man. No way, mate. You don't know. Look, he had to
Reptiles are typically not very.
he had to
motherly.
procure an alligator. He had to put it in his car, drive to Wendy's.
Yeah.
Was he just on his way home and he's like, I want a Baconator. It's like, ah, man, I want one of them square cheeseburgers.
Nah, it's because he heard that Wendy's was going to do that like pricing.
Probably.
yeah,
thing.
price drop.
Yeah.
He got an alert on his phone. There's a bunch of douchebags in the area. We're going to give you a discount if you get a burger now.
Yeah.
He didn't have money, or does it? So let's see the rest of the article here. Let me see. God, this guy's real low.
This guy's got 2 names, Joshua James.
Ooh, you can never trust a man with
got
2 first names. The Florida man who tossed an alligator into a Palm Beach Wendy's drive-thru in what he said was intended to be a prank. Just a prank,
It's a prank, bro.
Has been ordered to stay away from all of the business's locations and animals until this case, which includes a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a deadly alligator, is finalized. Is there more? Is there more to the article there, buddy?
I had an ad pop up.
Oh, beautiful.
On October 11th, 2015, Joshua James allegedly threw a 3.5-foot alligator, which is not small, through the drive-thru window after receiving his drink order, according to the news article.
Holy shit. So wait, did he actually order food or did he just order drinks?
Can I have a sweet tea? And I got something for your ass when I get up there.
Yeah. Did they give him the wrong drink? He's like, I said sweet tea.
I think he probably had it in mind to do this regardless
Before he
of what
came
drink.
up to the
Give me
window.
the gator. No, you're going. I wonder if the mouth was taped shut.
No, I think there was a video of this that went around.
Holy
if it's the one I'm
shit.
thinking of.
God damn.
And if it's the one I'm thinking of, people were fairly alarmed.
Look, you can't do this in Stockton, and I'm going to tell you why.
Because there's no gators.
Well, even if you had an alligator, you can't do it because their fast food windows, the way they're constructed, they're like 8-inch thick, like super bulletproof glass. And it's like a thing where when it swivels or pushes out, you cannot pass anything in that could actually get in. It's like a security.
one-way windows?
It's one way,
I
motherfucker.
see.
Like
It's like you're in prison.
Exactly, dude. It's like you're in prison, right?
Every McDonald's is a check cashing place.
You got to basically stuff it up your rear end and keister it on the inside, man.
Yeah.
You can't do it any other way. You're not doing it through the drive-through.
Right.
Holy cow.
Prison wallet burgers.
Yeah. Let's hear yours.
Okie dokie. Mine is May 12th. I think this is
I'm kind of disgusted that you're so close to me.
That's what I was going to say. You guys are so close for birthdays.
Okay.
You guys both continue to upset me.
I know.
Florida man arrested after praising the Lord while highway surfing his caddy.
Let's go.
70 years old, this guy. The 70-year-old said he'd, quote, rather go to jail than go back home to his supposedly demanding wife.
Wait, was he praising the Lord
Supposedly.
because he was free of his demanding wife?
I would assume so.
Look at this guy. Oh, shit. He was praising the Lord.
If I'm correct, that's a Chrysler 300. That car does not suck.
Look at this guy. Wow.
70 years old, this guy.
I guess when you're 70, you're just like, fuck it.
Why wouldn't you be?
Let me. You
State troopers recently arrested a Florida man who was caught trying to live out his Titanic movie fantasies. A little jokey joke on the writer's part, and make his heart go on. Another jokey joke, little Celine Dion reference.
Good job, Chris Chin.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, Chris Chin.
Chris Chin or Christian? Oh, it is Chris Chin.
Yeah,
it's Chris Chin.
That's funny. Go on atop a moving vehicle. Local news affiliates report that authorities arrested Leonard Olson, 70, after an off-duty deputy. Imagine getting off work as a cop and just coming home and be like, finally, this fucking day's over. And what is this shit?
Well, there's a video of this dude.
Oh, look at that.
Wow. It might not render with this lag, but that's wild.
It's worth it to try.
Yeah, I agree.
I wish the Gator video would have come on.
Oh, my God. That'd have been brilliant.
I might find that for later.
Let's see. We might get an ad. You might have to turn it down.
Oh, yeah. He's in the driving position there.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
He is Christ airing the car.
Holy cow. This guy is blessed right now. He's blessed.
I don't think that's a Chrysler 300. Oh,
that is.
That's no, it's a Cadillac.
That's
of course
a Cadillac.
it is. It was in the fucking.
Yeah, it's Cadillac.
Dumb.
I know. Wow.
It was in the headline.
I technically don't know if Jesus would have driven a Cadillac.
He was fairly humble, right?
You know, he probably would have had a Kia. Although he'd probably buy local. I don't think there's any Jewish cars.
No.
The Jews have a good car? I don't think so, right?
I know of an old joke that's super offensive, but no.
Yeah. That's wild.
He
I'd like
probably-
that Florida man.
He would definitely be driving a 4-banger, I think. Just something. It'll run forever.
You don't think you would have an electric vehicle?
He obviously has a Volkswagen bus.
Yeah. No shit, right? What were we thinking?
on biodiesel.
Are you making a
Yeah.
hippie reference?
He drives it
Christ
on
wasn't a hippie.
French
I'm not
fries.
saying that, but I'm saying
You're implying it.
Was he though?
I'm not.
He
A
wore
Volkswagen
sandals.
Bug.
He wore sandals.
I did not say a bug.
Van.
He
Excuse
wore
me.
sandals. He didn't like the
They hadn't invented
banks.
shoes yet.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he wore a robe.
I don't really. Well, I don't think Jesus would burn petroleum. I just don't.
Yeah, you don't think so?
I mean, why would he?
I guess he could just like float and disappear and stuff.
I mean, that is well.
You know,
I mean, he was a.
he could just like
Where are we?
disappear and reappear. I don't know. We're just talking about whether Jesus would ghost ride the whip. That's the
man.
question. Did Heavenly
Ghost
Father ghost ride the whip? That's what we need to know right now. Well, Elder God, go.
My wife treats me like a servant, and she's the mistress. Olson continued. Lock me up. I'd rather go to jail than back home.
That's not Christian like.
That's not.
Jeez, what a guy. Yeah. How do you think his house life is going to go now?
Not very well with this $21,000 bond he was booked on.
Yeah, but he only's got to come up with 10%.
Yeah, I know, but 21 grand on a.
Well, you know what?
Who's going to get hurt? What's the crime? here?
How about the motherfucker in front of him that's going to get rear-ended
There was-
when Jack Tard can't brake?
He can reach the brakes. He just can't steer.
He's not that tall. He's not 9 feet tall. He's standing up out of the sunroof.
I don't think his feet were okay.
Where do you think his feet were?
On the brakes?
No.
On the gas pedal. Otherwise, he'd be slowing down.
Bro.
No, you put it on cruise control.
Dude.
That's a good call.
Duh. We know
Noted.
it's a good call.
Okay, that was a
You
little
know,
fucking.
jeez.
He said, "We know it's a good call."
Shut up, Omar.
This is an
Let me
astute.
have this.
This is an astute comment. Isn't it illegal to use your phone while driving, officer?
Oh,
Implying that it was the officer that took the video. What a narc.
wow.
What a narc.
What a dork. Take that shit to Reddit. Man,
The other little piece of content.
that was a good bit. I like
you.
that, Andrew.
Thank you. Well, it's a one and done. So
Yeah.
send us in your birthdays. We'll read them on. No, we won't. So the other one was I was thinking about it today, and I had a memory pop up while I was at work because I had to ask for some time off coming up. And
Yeah.
I was wondering.
My tummy hurts.
My tummy hurts. Yeah, I had to take a Gordon Ryan day. I was wondering if you guys in any of your jobs have come across like a wild story of someone you knew or like directly worked with, or heard a story about somebody and like a wild reason they called out of work. I've got a funny one, but it happened during work.
Oh, man. I mean, I have not worked with this person, but Big MF has pulled some serious, ridiculous things at work over the years.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Some real far out, stupid stuff.
Try to get to leave early or call out.
Or just to like avoid work,
oh, gotcha.
you know, like take a day off at work. You know what I mean? Like hide at work and not be found because you're hiding the whole day somewhere in your job. Well, they assume you're working and he's literally hiding. Heard that. Shit like that.
You?
Not that I can recall.
So I had a dude that I worked with in North Carolina. I was working on the corporate side of Home Depot, and wasn't like in an office or anything. We were part of a corporate team that goes and merchandises everything up on shelves and stuff. And one of our team members, he had only been there for like, I don't know, 2.5, 3 weeks. He was a goofy little goofball and very large, and that's pertinent to the story.
A goofy little goofball. He was very large. How large are we talking?
I would guess
3 bills?
310, 320.
3 bills.
I'd guess. Yeah.
Okay.
If he was 290, he didn't wear it well, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So apparently I wasn't next to him or near him when this happened. I had just seen him that morning, and then all of a sudden, a couple hours go by, and you're like, oh, by the way, where's so-and-so? And they're like, oh, he left. And I'm like, and they started laughing. I was like, what's that about? So I'm going to call this guy Jay. Jay had gone into the bathroom to relieve his bowels.
Okay.
And this is the information he had offered our supervisor to get out. So he had gone in the bathroom to relieve himself, was on his phone looking at things for so long while doing so that his legs fell asleep. He did not realize that until he got up. Fell into the toilet as he tried to get up.
No.
Got covered in water. And then
Went home.
he said he sprained his knee as well somehow in the fog of
In the
war.
commo-
So you're saying this guy basically shat himself, more or less, in a very weird, odd, unconventional way.
And then sprained his ankle.
And then,
He took an avant-garde approach to shitting
yeah,
himself.
high art, and then he had to go home.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Man, I think I've probably shat myself and gone home from work. And
You've done it at work?
probably the 20-something years I've been at work, I'm sure I've sharted
Really?
at least once. I don't have any particular thing that stands out, but I would imagine. I imagine I sharted and went home, and I may have sharted and not gone home.
You just stayed.
Wrote it out.
Just fucking baking it.
Running
dude.
around
just doing it, man.
Crusty khakis, all that.
I'll tell you what, not to one up or change the subject, but since we're talking about scat, my brother-in-law, when he got married to my sister-in-law, they had a honeymoon in Tahiti. And
That sounds nice.
yeah, sounds amazing, right? On the way back home, they gave the passengers these lays, like, blah, 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 nice thing, okay. So they all have these lays, or they're in the plane, and it starts smelling real bad. People are like, it's getting noticeable. People are starting to like
Gag.
And my brother-in-law, who's a sweetheart, one of the nicest people in the whole world, realizes the guy next to him is the source of this situation. And my brother-in-law doesn't want to out him.
Yeah.
Okay. And he knows that it's this guy. And everyone's like, who? It's like, where's Carmen Sandiego? They want to know, like, where's
triangulating the smell.
They're like, they got the guy singing the song, where's the shitter? So my brother-in-law is trying to avoid the smell because it's reeking.
Yeah.
He pulls the petals off of the lei and he stuffs them up in his nose. So he can just smell the fragrance of the flower. He's hoping it will block the shit smell.
Right.
Emanating from the seat next to him. This is an airplane seat, by the way, which ain't saying much. It's already had like 1 million miles of ass on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Eventually, this guy got outed, and the passengers kind of went through their shit and gave him some clothes to wear. Talk
It got
about
that bad?
Oh, yeah, he had to change.
And he was offered other strangers' clothing.
Strangers' clothing. I guess he ended up putting on someone's
shit.
pajamas.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't gloss over that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd have, coming from Tahiti back to the U.S., he'd have a couple more pairs of pants.
Well, maybe it was in his luggage, stowed.
Yeah, not in his carrying.
Have you ever shat yourself and kept the pants?
No.
No, I think that's grounds for
That's
ditching.
like-
That's ground for dismissal.
I
Yeah.
can't be reminded
Grounds
of
for
this
dismissal.
anymore. Yeah, that's an expulsion.
You in good conscience, you can't even give those to like the Goodwill. Those
No.
have to be
No.
destroyed. They should be
It's
put in an
burnt
incinerator.
somewhere. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't even run the risk of somebody finding those at the dump and going like, "Hey, those are some good khakis."
Some dude shat himself.
Yeah, pretty. I mean, talk about a walk of shame. You imagine walking from your seat to the
man.
airplane bathroom,
Squishing.
and how you going to clean up in an airplane bathroom?
In that you're not. Yeah.
Oh my god,
No, there's
crusty.
no way. Better hope them pants flush.
I bet that shower he got when he got home felt so good. He's like,
that
I got to put
shit-
all this behind me.
Fucking hope it felt redemptive.
How
the
watery
fucking
was
piglet.
that shit? Did it get on the seat?
I don't know, dude.
These are some important questions.
I don't know, man. But
I'm
dude,
trying to decompose. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
You ever shat yourself on a plane?
no.
No.
But when I went to Worlds in Vegas, I don't know, it's a few years ago now. I was going to do Masters Worlds with this other dude, and I got the tickets. We got the hotel, and I went to register. Registration was filled up.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Well, we're gonna go anyway.
So mad you shit yourself.
No, but I did that thing where I went there, coached my friend at the time. My wife went. We hung out. We had a great time. And then the night before we were going to go home, we went to this epic party, and we ended up like getting back to the hotel close to 4. And then we were supposed to be like in the lobby at 5:30. It was an early flight home. And who the fuck flies home that early? I don't fucking know. But we were supposed to leave really early. So I remember getting back to the room. We walked back to the room, and it seemed to be a long ass walk from where we were. I don't really remember exactly how far it was, but I know we walked it. And it was like as soon as my head hit the pillow, the alarm went off.
Right.
And,
I hate those.
My buddy's on the phone. He's like, hey, we're downstairs. Where are you guys at? I'm like, fuck. That was the only time, the first and last time in my life where I just grabbed everything and threw it in the suitcase. Like you see on TV. I stood in the shower and just put under cold water. Like, what am I going to do? I was wasted still, dude.
Oh, good.
Wasted.
Good.
Got to the airport, got on the plane, drunk and feeling like shit. And there's this little girl sitting next to me, 9 years old. And I know I reek of alcohol. I'm obviously not right. I'm sick.
Yeah.
Got the runs and I'm throwing up in the airplane bathroom. I made like 6 trips between Vegas and Stockton, which isn't that far.
Yeah,
that's
no,
not
that's
a long
not
flight.
That far.
It's not very
It
long.
was like maybe an hour.
Maybe an hour.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I was so humiliated that I just pulled my hoodie over and kind of like turned my body side. I didn't want this kid to see me.
Yeah.
It's like a junkie.
I put my
man.
sunglasses on. My dad picked us up at the airport. He just looked at me like, son.
Did you get addicted to smack while you were out there? What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm coming down real bad.
Have you been sucking dick? No. Yeah, man, that
Not
was
for free.
Yeah, right. I wanted crack. That was probably the worst that I've been on.
Is that like your low as like an embarrassment?
I was pretty embarrassed. The low,
Personally, I would have committed like seppuku in the bathroom.
I'll tell
I
you
don't
my
deal with
low.
that well.
My low is a jiu-jitsu related bathroom incident, though.
Really?
Because jiu-jitsu tournaments in general have like the worst bathrooms. We need a coffee table book. Maybe a bathroom book of all the terrible bathrooms at jiu-jitsu tournaments.
That'd be a good calendar.
So there was this tournament in Rio Linda. I believe it was Rio Linda, California. It's like little north of Sacramento. Rush Limbaugh was from this town. That was his big claim to thing. Like he always would talk about Rio Linda.
Real Limbaugh.
Yeah, and they had this tournament called Warriors Quest at this high school, and so we took some kids, and it was real podunk fucking bullshit. It was, but whatever. So I got to take a shit. I'm like, man, I do not want to do this, but I'm not making it through this whole day coaching all these kids. Like, I'm just got to get this out of the way early.
Yeah.
I go to the bathroom, and there's not a full stall. There's a half stall. So there's a door that closes, but literally, like,
Your face is
your head is out of the door, and there's 2 urinals next to the.
Man.
And I'm like, dude, I gotta fucking go. So
What the-
I got my hoodie and I ninja'd it. I just pulled the strings real tight, just to where I just had like that just my eyes
Just
were
so it
like
looked like
out.
an asshole.
Yes,
and,
and I
your eyes were
just
right
like
there.
put my head down and just like did my business. And I can't tell you how many fucking 12-year-old kids came up to the urinal and pissed and then peeped over the side and laughed at me. And we're just like, he's shitting. It was humiliating. It sucked. I had to do it. You just, as long as you don't get caught in the act of wiping. That's the most humiliating, I think. You don't want to be
Well, you're
caught like
vulnerable.
looking at the toilet paper. That's like the worst.
You're so
That's the
vulnerable.
worst, dude. Yeah, it's like you at your worst, you know.
Comes out and they're
yeah.
like, man, why did that full-grown adult go into the little kids' restroom?
Yeah, right. That's why
you
there were
definitely
half
don't-
stalls.
You don't want a 12-year-old being like, that's not how you wipe your ass.
yeah.
It was just embarrassing. It's like, first of all, whose fucking brilliant idea was to have half stall sized doors?
Was
is
this
a prison.
a Catholic school?
I don't know. It was some kind of school. Yeah, right.
Thinking I might know the reason if it was
Yeah.
a Catholic school.
There you go.
Jeez.
Andrew.
About to get canceled.
Gosh. You know,
They didn't get canceled.
I am the type of person that doesn't talk negative.
Well, I am.
okay. That's true. This is where Andrew draws the line.
That's right. Sick of being.
Draw a line in the fucking sand.
So, yeah, man. Speaking of embarrassing moments, I put an Instagram out today, a reel, because I felt like nobody remembers the guy that vomited 10 years ago
No.
at a Naga. I believe it was a Naga. And his black dude who was going up against this other dude, and they were getting after it, and the other dude has him in a triangle or omoplata, like an omoplata he was trying to hit. And you just see the other dude stop defending, turns his head out, and just throws up, dude.
That's sick.
He turns around and he mouths to the ref and everybody at points, and he's like,
Get
he
out of
farted
there."
in my face, man. He farted in my face. So basically, this guy went to finish him with the triangle, busted ass on this guy's face, and the guy just like
I'll see.
fucking left it, dude.
I'll see you in the parking lot.
He
That
went
happens.
full send.
Fuck yeah.
That guy right now is the happiest guy in the world that John Combs threw up at ADCC West Coast Trials, because nobody remembers him now.
Until you posted that.
Yes. Exactly. That's a 10-year callback right
People
there.
never forget.
People don't forget.
Yeah, my grandpa told me one time, he said, you could do good your whole life, but if you shit your pants at the party one time, that's like
You're always the
that's what
guy.
you'll be remembered for.
You're
So
always going to be the guy that shit yourself at the party.
yeah, don't want to do that. But yeah, on Grappling Hour, they didn't want to talk about it. They're like, that's, it's gross.
Yeah.
Combs is a friend. I'm like, nah, dude, come on. This is one of the biggest things that's happened at ADCC Trials. We got to talk about this. Have to bring it
Why
up.
not?
I know. Combs is going to be on. We'll give him a hard time. But actually, he looked really good at Trials.
Yeah.
He did really fantastic. I thought, he's going into the PGF pretty strong, on a
I think
good
so.
run. Yeah. And so that's good. One of the things that came up when we were talking on Grappling Hour was like, does the order of ranking or where these guys stand change based on their ADCC trials? Because a few guys were 1 and out,
Yeah.
Is it a live sort of living, evolving ranking system?
No, I mean, it's just like theoretically, like going into it.
I mean, so I'd say yes, and if it was an evolving system, then sure, we could rearrange it. But, I mean, if it's like, this is the official ranking for this date with the info we have at the time. Because, I mean, we made the point that, and I agree, like if we ranked, if ADCC was involved in it, then Elijah wouldn't be ranked as high as he is.
Yeah.
Because you'd have Varela
That's
at
true.
the top easy.
I just think performance-wise, if you look at their performances, some guys looked really good, and some guys probably didn't have the weekend that they wanted to have.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that necessarily drops them in a ranking, but does it say something about their spirits going into PGF? Because some guys take a loss hard.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I'll tell you this right here. There's going to be at least 15, if not 19 guys that are not going to have the PGF they have. Or that they want.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, that's
isn't that
true
the nature
too.
of the beast?
That is the nature of the beast. For sure with grappling, especially tournaments, you get in a situation where only one guy goes home a winner. Really, everybody else is losing that day except for one guy will go home without a loss,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that some athletes can take a loss and turn it around. Like it's fuel, it's motivation, it's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to get after it. Other guys take a loss and it's a lot harder to deal with. Probably the professionals that are used to doing this a lot can take a loss and they brush it off. Like immediately they're looking right to the next thing. They're not even worried about it anymore. And I remember talking to Boogie one time backstage at this might have been combat jiu-jitsu. Might have been an EBI.
Yeah.
And he took a loss, and I'm just like, hey man, like, how do you feel about that? And he's like, man, I got another thing coming up next weekend. Like my mind's on that now.
Yeah.
I'm focused on that. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, it works out to be percentages at that point.
Yeah.
If you're always doing it, you're never as nervous as if you're like a once every 6 months type of guy or something like that.
Yeah.
So
that's
much
for sure.
riding on
Just
it.
a regular weekend for me.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
Yeah. You know who did real good? I just want to call it out is Mike DeWitt from 10th Planet. I think it's Springfield. I want to make sure I get it right. Out in Oregon. Mike DeWitt is a dude who, isn't super well known. He's teaches jiu-jitsu. He's always into jiu-jitsu. He's fucking getting after it. Let me make sure I got the right dude here. I want to make sure I say his name correctly.
10P Springfield.
Yeah? Is that him?
Yep. 3rd degree black belt under Eddie.
Yeah, Mike DeWitt. So he went to trials and had 3 submissions the first day.
Oh, wow.
He looked fantastic, dude. He did fucking great. He did really great. Yeah, Superhero Jiu-Jitsu in Springfield. I thought he did really well, man. And he made it to day 2. Fucking ran up against J-Rod, which is like great.
Yeah.
And J-Rod just kind of like had a match with him where they played for subs, and then as soon as points kicked in, J-Rod just went bam, 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 bam. Just he's fast as hell, you know. So, but I thought Mike DeWitt looked really good, man. He had some good submissions, and it goes to show you that it's not just because guys on paper look like this guy could beat this guy and that guy could beat that guy and blah, 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 blah. Like, you got to show up and beat somebody, though.
Right.
And that's not as easy as it appears to be. And some guys can go in there and they'll get you, dude. The moves work. That's the thing, is the moves work. Someone puts you in one of the moves, they fucking work. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to get tapped. But DeWitt looked real good, man. So I wanted to throw a shout out to him. He's getting closer to Team Old Guy. You know, you got to look out for those guys.
Good job, Mike.
Yeah, man. So we're waiting for Kamoy. What's the other bit you got, Andrew? We got time for that? What do you think?
It was basically just to carry on about that embarrassing shit. Like, I mean, I just thought it's like low points are really fun to extract pain and humor out of.
I agree.
It's like when we were talking about the whole shitting yourself thing. I haven't, luckily, I've never had that happen.
Okay, yeah. He brings
I mean,
up
obviously,
something
I
embarrassing,
was
then
a
he goes,
baby.
"This never
Yeah,
happened to me."
I've never had anything to share.
Yeah, I'm fine. I've never done that.
I haven't.
You never lost your mud?
No.
Not one time.
No.
Not even when you were a baby.
I'm sure when I was a baby.
Okay, you're a liar then. You lied. Now I can't believe anything you say.
All right.
Man,
I have thrown up on a girl that I had a crush on.
Ooh.
This is in
How'd that go?
not well.
Not well.
She didn't respond well to it.
No. I don't think
It was like right out of South Park with Stan and what's her name? His little girlfriend in that show, where every time she says, "Hi, Stan," he's like,
yeah. Was it just nerves?
No,
nervous?
I'm sort of sociopathic, so I don't have that. But I was really sick, really sick, and I should have been home.
But you went out anyway.
And yeah, so I was at school, and I just stood up really fast. And at that moment, she happened to come by and say hi, and I was just like, "Hey, it was."
Wow. That's a real idiot move right there.
It was dumb guy move.
She just walked by and you projectiled right into her face.
Well, it wasn't
Nice.
her face, but I did get some on her dress.
Ugh, that's disgusting.
I had a girl throw up in my bed one time.
Ooh, not
That
good.
one was not good.
Not in the bed, dude. The bed sucks because now you got to change all that shit out. And
Oh man, I'm cool with that.
I was just about to go to sleep.
Shit happens.
you're cool with vomit in the bed.
If it has to happen, it has to happen. I mean, if you think you're, here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
I got like once.
Hear me out.
For me, as soon as I got married, and I mean, my missus and I were together for a long time, so like, if something like that's gonna happen, cool. What, I don't give a shit. We're here.
Yeah, this wasn't
deal.
my missus.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I know that. And,
yeah, but even if it is your missus, like, there's some things about.
I mean, I prefer you don't.
I want to keep some mystery still there.
Me too.
You didn't want
know?
to see what it looks like when she barfs on the bed.
I don't want to be in there when she's pooping. I don't want to.
I'm
none of that shit.
Super
dude.
against that. We've talked about that before. Like, if
don't
you do
want
that
that.
in front of your spouse, or even like a boyfriend, girlfriend, especially.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if you do it in front of your spouse, you're a fucking savage.
It's like
You're not a human.
it doesn't look. If it's like a once in a while, like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom really bad. You care if I go to the bathroom when you take a shower? Okay.
That's how I feel about the vomiting, because it's like I know you're sick, and I'm already sort of mentally prepared to help you.
But just to be like brushing your teeth and going to the bathroom while
And-
someone's
and
shitting and
yeah.
you're just like talking to them and
Somebody
they're
sits
looking at their
down?
phone.
No.
It's like,
What about
well,
taking a leak?
that's different.
It's different.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the side.
He's sterile.
Yeah. Pee is sterile.
Yeah, so that's what dude, brushing your teeth while there's fecal matter in the air.
Yucky.
That's a no go.
No.
Yucky.
Yucky. I draw the line there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fairly okay with a lot of degenerate behavior, but I am strict. Like, neither of us, me and the missus, ever did anything like that near
Yeah.
each other. As far as we knew it, we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it that way. It was cool.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to
I
live.
like the way you described it. There's a little bit more mystery, and it's a mystery I don't want to know
Yeah.
the end of the case of.
Yeah,
I don't need to Scooby-Doo any of that.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly
Yeah.
on that one. What about on the mats? Like, what about when dudes fart on the mats and they laugh and they think it's funny and they walk around? What's your feeling on that?
I mean-
I want to stab them.
I probably wouldn't go that far, but like,
Oh, I would.
Me too. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think you should have some like decency and not just be letting it rip everywhere, right? But I mean, if you're outside, it's different. But like on the mats, yeah, I don't know. I've like sometimes you go for a move and
That's different.
you know,
Okay, so there is
an
a
accident.
sin of omission and a sin of commission.
yeah,
If you
Commission.
if you lift your leg up and
Yeah.
you fucking give right away to it, then you are assaulting. That's a biological assault.
You're
Yeah.
a piece of shit.
That's biological warfare.
yeah,
If you're trying to get out of guard or somebody puts you in a weird spot and they
Sure.
push on your stomach and that's different.
Say neon belly after
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
Those farts don't even stink.
Yeah.
It's the purposeful farts that stink. It's the
Yeah.
one where the dude walks by you and goes and then walks
Yeah.
off and laughs.
Yeah, those dudes smell like they got butt fucked by a garbage truck.
Yeah, they smell like they got butt fucked by a fart demon is what
Yeah.
they smell
fart
like.
demon.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, not a fan of that behavior.
Yeah.
Me either.
I'm actually almost ready to fight over that kind of behavior.
Oh, really?
Really
I
pisses me
get
off.
mad quick
Yeah.
about that.
Somebody farts in your face, and I think someone
Your
farts in your
general
face.
direction?
It's time to. That's go time.
Listen, I'm already trusting you as a partner that you are like clean and took a shower before this.
Full send.
I'm taking 3 a day. I'm trying to be as hygienic as possible so
Yeah.
I don't get you sick or give you anything.
Right.
I'm already trusting you with that, which is weird. If I know you blasting fecal matter everywhere isn't quite hygienic.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
a good
like
point.
yeah. And then they're gonna sweat. It's gonna liquefy.
Yeah.
It's gonna run out,
Oof.
and now it's gonna be everywhere.
Gonna get on everything.
And
and
gonna triangle you.
Ugh.
It's gonna get on your clothes.
Yeah. And
It's
you're gonna
basically
you're gonna
a-
say, what's that smell?
It's like a poor man's fecal transplant,
Yeah.
which is wild that they do that.
It is crazy.
Like, what demon decided, like, I know how we'll heal this guy. We'll take poop from that guy. We'll put it in that guy. What do you guys think? Yeah, it's a good idea. I think you should try it. And it worked.
If you found out Mengele in World War II was doing that type of stuff, that's what that sounds like.
Yeah, right.
That's like wild. Why would
It
you
sounds
do that?
like some crazy, weird.
Like a torture thing.
Who was the dude that was like dark like that? Is it Camus? C-A-M-U-S? Albert Camus? Or
Camus?
Camus, is that his
Yeah.
name? Yeah. Was he like a real dark one like that? Was he one of those dudes?
Sort of.
No. Yeah, maybe.
You might be thinking Kafka.
I don't know.
no. What?
No.
Yeah, Camus was an existentialist. This is a different conversation. I'm a huge fan of Camus.
I'm a huge fan.
I like Camus.
Who was the weirdo, man? Was it Albert Pike or one of those guys? I don't know. I don't know enough about my American.
Pike is the Freemason.
Oh, well, it probably was him then.
Probably. They all like poo transplants, or so I hear.
That's why they live so long.
Why they was so long. That
so
and
I
adrenochrome.
hear we need a move called the poop transplant. We need like that's basically what donkey guard is. No, you got to go butt to butt though to make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. That's a hard sell in jiu-jitsu. It's hard to find that position
Yeah.
naturally.
Butt to butt.
Yeah, doesn't happen often.
That's a talk you have before you roll.
Listen, man, we're starting butt to butt.
Right. And we're finishing. Butt
Okay,
to
everyone,
butt.
get with your partner butt to butt. You're like, what? What if you just like were so crass you couldn't describe the moves right?
Oh, man.
Booty guard.
Yeah, just grab him by the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mat etiquette goes. It is like how hard you're going to roll, how intense you're going to be, how far are you willing to take this round to get the victory.
Yeah.
Some guys are willing every round to go all the way. Whatever that means.
Right.
If it means you put a hole in the wall or a hole in someone's head, they're going home with the W.
Yeah.
And it's
One
like,
of us dies here today.
dude, it's Wednesday night.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We all
Like,
got
there's
work
6
tomorrow.
people here right now. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I do manual labor at 5 a.m.
Yeah,
so.
there's dudes like that, and I could kind of see it sometimes. I could see it. I could see the roll amp up, and it's like then you could hear it. You actually can hear it when people like start. You start hearing that friction. You start hearing the mat get slapped. You start
Yeah.
hearing like the grunting, and you look over and you're like, oh yeah, here we go. These guys are in level 11 already.
Yeah. Right.
13 seconds into the first round.
Yeah. And they're
Dude's
going
going
at
fucking
it.
Dude's
going at
full
it.
send on a
Yeah.
double leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they've already like traversed half of the mat, ran into 3 people, flipped
Right.
over one guy, rolled off the mat twice. They're still getting after it. That's like, for me, that kind of goes along with dudes farting on the mats as well. Like, I'm not a big fan of that kind of stuff.
I like the opportunity to go to war with a trusted training partner every now and then.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
like that.
I do too.
But spazzing out like that is definitely annoying.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like,
Yeah, see, like you and I on Tuesday had a great roll.
I think so.
And
That
I
was
think
fun.
we really pushed each other quite a bit, but we weren't like, it was all pretty controlled. Like we weren't all over the mat.
yeah, we didn't interact with another couple.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think one of the things is time and place.
Yeah.
It's like if you're in a competitive class and you guys are getting after it and it's somebody you know and you're like, hey, or even if it's not somebody you know, but you know, you're like, hey, we're getting after it. That's different.
Yeah,
If
we know why we're at comp class.
We're here for the same reason.
Yeah.
If you're at a regular all levels class and there's a whole mixture of people in the room and, you know, you're doing some drill or a couple rounds at the end and you're going bananas like that, you're kind of like losing the point.
Yeah, it's always after you call class over, be like, all right, guys, you can stay roll if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Like a nice casual roll, and then it just is like,
It erupts.
yeah.
Eruption. You know, and if it's like two guys who want to get after it, that's okay. But a lot of times, like two guys that maybe, I don't know if they even like each other. You know, it's like, oh shit,
right.
what's going on now? Like, Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a ramping up of attitude. We used
Yeah.
to say, like, I felt you muscling up.
Yeah.
I felt you muscle up, so I had to muscle up back.
Right.
Hostilities
Right.
rise a little bit.
Yeah. Can't let that act of aggression go unchecked.
Pass that guard a little bit too aggressively.
Yeah. In my mind, you shouldn't be able to beat me. I'm greater
Right.
than
Oh,
you.
that's a good one.
Yeah. And now you're getting over on me, and I got to fix this somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get my
I got to, yeah.
ranking back.
Yeah.
I see that the most in guys who take off like 2 months, and they're pretty good because they're like coming all
yeah.
the time and that kind of stuff. And then
Right.
they take off 2 months and come back, and the dude who is a little bit worse than them, that has consistently been coming in that interim, can now beat them sort of handily
Right.
for various reasons. And they come back, and then that ramps up pretty quick too. You see that
Yeah.
because the homeboy that just came back after his absence thought he was going to get it. And,
Yeah.
he's like, oh shit. I
Yeah.
have to make sure coach knows I should get a black belt next instead of a purple belt.
Yeah, right. Coach, can I have a word with you after class? So listen, I was thinking, do they ever skip belts in jiu-jitsu?
Because I feel like
Because I feel like I can skip two.
I know you're not
least.
supposed to ask, so I'm not really asking for a belt. I'm asking for 2 belts.
Yeah.
If at all possible. I'm really serious about this.
if I ever pulled you to the side, it would be to ask for a green belt and just to stop there. I really just want a green belt.
You want a green belt?
I do.
Well, you could get one on the internet.
Yeah.
You could be one. You can be a green belt, I guess, if you're a kid. Although it seems like some places give the kid belts to the adults too, here and there.
It looked like that as far as Instagram reels go.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I trust all those, just the anti-government ones.
What's the green belt?
It's
Green
like
belts before you're blue.
blue. It's like the high,
Yeah.
more or less. It's the highest ranking kid belt
It's
you
your
can get.
yeah, it's your
Oh, I
blue
see.
belt placeholder until you're 16 and can have a blue belt, right?
More or less.
I think
Now
that's
I
how I
have
understood it.
seen a, and I don't know if this is conventional. I've seen a blue belt that has a white stripe around the belt.
Oh, like
Right.
through it.
Yeah, through the middle part.
That's
And
interesting.
it was called a provisional blue belt that was given to someone who I believe was 15.
You're only a blue belt in the provinces.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I mean, at a certain point, it's like, what are we doing?
That's odd.
Why are
yeah.
we like delineating the experience level and the status so
I was
much?
watching a video of Jean-Jacques Machado on YouTube, and some of his grapplers, it was like a coral, like blue and red belt.
blue and red?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
That sounds like a comp belt, like points. You know,
No,
how they
no,
do
no,
the
like
red,
the-
and,
like
red
the
and green, or
belt.
yellow and green.
Right, but the belt was like a chunk was blue and a chunk was red, blue, red, blue, red.
Yeah,
all
the
way.
comp belt is like that, but it's yellow and green.
Yellow, green, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never
Interesting.
seen that belt before.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
look, see if I could find it.
Said blue and red.
Blue and
That
red.
sounds bitchin'.
Yeah.
I was thinking for cultist, if I ever opened up the gym, I'd have instead of if it's a black belt got through cultist, it's a like black and white coral.
Mm.
That'd be pretty sweet. It's on brand.
I wonder if were there was it like red bars were on the belt maybe? Because
I know if you have a blue bar where your stripes are supposed to go, that's Gracie lineage specifically.
a blue bar.
A blue bar on your black belt.
Well,
What you would tape stripes around.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, blue is designated a specific Gracie, I think.
Interesting.
'Cause, what's his name? Eli Knight from Kentucky has that.
I thought you were gonna say Eli Gracie. I'm like, okay, now you're making it up.
No.
Well, I know there's a red tab that goes like if you're an instructor, you have
Professor.
like a red tab on your belt, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. The belts are too much. It's like, what are we trying to convey to people with all this nonsense, colors and the original belt, the white, blue, purple, brown, black. That was enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It kind of get like you kind of know blue belts aren't white belts. That makes sense, and you kind of know like purple belts are kind of like okay. Brown is like a little murky because there's some brown belts that are really fucking good that could beat black belts. There's purple belts that can beat black belts. It happens all the time. It's not like it's linear. There's a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
But to add so many layers in between that, it just seems too much.
Yeah, I mean, once you start, if you think about it, like the belts were made for like adults, and so once you start getting kids involved,
Yeah.
how do you do? Like, you can't have like a blue belt 10-year-old or whatever, like.
I heard the
doesn't
belt
make sense.
system in jiu-jitsu was added for Blancos specifically.
I think it was
For what?
added during.
White Americans.
I
Oh,
don't
really?
think that's why.
I'd heard that. I don't know that.
I think what I had heard, and I could be wrong, is that the Gracies adapted the belt system based on judo's belt system, and they did it when they started organizing competitions. And so
I could see why you would want to do that.
yeah,
A generalization of skill levels
yeah,
between professors, discretion for people. Yeah.
yeah. A lot of the original training, I think, was more one-on-one. It was very master apprentice based. You might have some group classes, but there wasn't a lot of group class stuff going on originally. It was just a lot of private clients, a lot of small group kind of stuff. And then over time, it started to develop into schools and bigger academies, multiple people training, that kind of thing, And then as the schools started competing, not just against like some other group of grapplers, they started competing against each other, There's a need to have a ranking, I guess.
Yeah.
Figure it out somehow.
What's really funny about this whole conversation is that we participate in the gym that famously does not, or a type of jiu-jitsu that does not use belts. So
Well, I mean,
we do get belts, but
we get belts.
we don't wear them.
We don't wear them because I have been to, in fact, where John Combs is from, Amal Easton. I've been out to his school out in Colorado, and they wear their belts during no-gi class. So you can know what everyone's rank is, more or less, that you're rolling with. They actually wear their belt, like is part. I don't know if you can grab it or not.
Yeah, that was
had our
my
belts
next
on.
question.
That would be my first reaction to that is I hate it.
Yeah.
But my second reaction to that is there's
I
a
love
couple,
it. He's all, I
if we
love
do it here, the rule needs to be I'm allowed to grab them.
Are we allowed to use them?
Yeah.
You can't take it off and wrap it around someone's neck.
No, but you need it for a Georgian grip.
Georgian. Dude, you're so obsessed with everything that's like Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at what he said. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's a great grip.
He said, yeah. Yeah.
It's cool.
What is
Yeah.
the Georgian grip when you reach behind them?
Yeah, you basically have the back of their head under a pec. You have a sleeve and either their lapel or not lapel skirt under the belt or their belt.
Got it.
It's great control. I think so. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's not bad. It's not bad. I'm starting to, like, man, gi jiu-jitsu. I love gi jiu-jitsu. I don't hate on it, but it's not the same grappling that everybody else is doing. It's different. It's quite a bit different in that there's a lot of concern about the material in general. You know what I mean? Like it really alters the game enough that you can get away with being really good as a gi grappler, but not necessarily knowing very much like grappling, transitions, takedown, some of the classic parts of that you would pick up mostly in wrestling, which is what the no-gi guys are doing that don't have wrestling. They're trying to cross-pollinate with wrestling. There's a lot of benefits of wrestling.
Yeah.
Especially like top pressure, top game, those kinds of controls. It's a big deal. Like it's how you control somebody,
Yeah.
you know, and you a lot of people thought you just take the jacket off and just do it without the jacket. It's like, okay, try it, motherfucker. Like, try it against somebody that knows how to wrestle and see how good it works for you when you take the jacket off. You will not be able to control them unless you understand what they understand.
Yeah.
And that's what we're finally starting to see is the results of people like cross-pollinating those ideas, wrestlers coming to jiu-jitsu guys embracing wrestling. For a long time, there was like wrestlers and then jiu-jitsu guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
ADCC used to kind of be like that. It was like all the nomadic nogi guys, come out of the forest and the woods, like all this crazy shit, and they'd all fight each other. ADCC was kind of like that for a long time. It's just like a lot of different dudes you wouldn't see anywhere else but ADCC.
Right.
And now you kind of see like a little more stable group of guys. You kind of see them in multiple shows. You see them year round. It's really developed into that. So it's pretty cool.
I bet you, this is just a theory, but if a lot of those specifically ADCC guys saw a list of ratings about a different organization, they get really hot and uptight about it.
Yeah. Speaking of ratings and organizations, we got Cam Hurd backstage. We're gonna jump him over in just a second, but I see what you did. I wanted to real quick see where we ranked Cam Hurd in our rankings because I think it wasn't that high, and now I'm gonna have to face the music here. So I want to.
Well, if it isn't the repercussions to my actions.
Yeah. Can you find that, Andrew? Do you know where that's at?
Yes, sir. I'm looking for it right now.
All right. Okay. Let's jump Cam in right now. Hey, Cam. Welcome to Inside BJJ. How you doing, man?
Doing well. How you guys doing?
Dude, I'm
Good, man.
doing pretty fantastic. Let's talk about West Coast Trials. How do you feel overall about your performance? What do you feel you did right, and what do you feel you did wrong?
I mean, overall, I feel like I've been a little down about the performance, but I shouldn't be. I mean, it was only my second trials. I ended up getting to the round of 16. There were some good and bad takeaways. The good takeaways, I beat two guys that I had lost to before, so that kind of felt nice to get those back. And then another name off of the list that Flo put out that was like, the dark horses or whatever. So I took off one of those names. So I feel pretty good about that. There was a couple things that I was kind of pissed off about. One being I should have gone a little deeper, at least. I really wanted Taza in the quarters. So ended up dropping it in the round of 16, and I think that was just kind of it was a little mental lapse. It's definitely a match I think I can win, but it wasn't my day, at least I guess on Sunday in that second round. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to take the positives, take the negatives, and grow from it either way, and go, because I'm using that momentum to go right into the PGF, which is stacked, and I gotta show up, and I feel like I got a little bit of a chip on my shoulder coming out of trials. So I think it'll help.
It's interesting you say that. We were talking earlier about that. There were, a handful of guys at trials that are in the PGF that were one and done. They were just in and out. They didn't have, the result that they wanted. And the reality is about something like the West Coast Trials, especially the West Coast Trials. It's in Las Vegas. Bunch of people are out there. It's a high level of competition. You could very easily draw a real tough dude in the first round and find yourself like sitting on the sidelines for the rest of the event. But how does that work for you if you got to go into the PGF if you're one and done? Does that like light a fire under your ass, or can that weigh on you a little bit and make you feel like, man, like, damn, do I really belong here?
I mean, I think if you're any kind of competitor, it's going to light a fire under your ass. And you got to have that mentality for those guys that, went to ADCC with high hopes and didn't get it. Again, you got to have a chip on your shoulder. Like, I feel like any good competitor is going to take that from not getting the result that they want and knowing that they've got another opportunity less than a month away. So, I mean, yeah. And also it's not really apples to apples, right? Some of those guys, had it been a PGF match, it would have been a draw or whatever. It's not like it's not apples to apples. So I think you can use it either way. Like if you did well at ADCC, you can use that momentum. Or if you did bad, you can use that as fuel for your fire. For me, I'm using it as momentum because, like I said, I feel like overall the weekend was pretty successful, and I'm just really excited about going into PGF and just like, I think for me it feels good for some of those names that were higher than me on those rankings that you guys were talking about.
Yeah.
Going out earlier than me, and then me kind of going a little deeper than some of those guys that were above me. It feels good, but like I said, also I know it's not apples to apples. I know it's not the same rule set. But that being said, when I get into PGF, my whole approach, my whole style is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be allowed to open it up and play some areas that I normally don't play in ADCC.
Yeah, I mean, how big is the fact that like ADCC has points and not just like standard points? There's some real wrinkles in the ADCC rule set that make the game slightly different than what we're mostly used to in all the other formats. How much does that change going into PGF? Like PGF is drastically different. You're getting more points for chokes than you are for joint locks, and you're on a team, and there's like a team component, and there's an individual component. It's a pretty different mindset going into it.
Brandon throwing flags for any stalling too.
Now they're stalling. Yeah, stalling can be called. How does that change your approach?
So, I mean, it definitely changes my training for the next few weeks. I don't have to, for me, like I think that it'll help going from ADCC to PGF rather than PGF to ADCC, because ADCC, it's such a funky rule set where there's so many little nuances that if you don't study the rule book, then you're not going to understand. And so you really got to sometimes play more of a cautious game in that, like, for me, if I'm playing top most of the time and I want to commit to a submission, it might involve some risk of like falling off and ending up on the mat and, giving up points or whatever. So I don't have to worry about that for PGF anymore. I can go for it. I can send it. And if I end up on bottom, I can start playing guard. And, I got to display that a little bit this past weekend as well. Everybody always talks about he's just a wrestler. He's da-da-da-da-da, whatever. I've been working my ass off on playing guard for the last, 6, 7, 8 months. Just waiting on an opportunity to present it and display the work that I put in. So the guy that I used it on, it was another avenged loss. It was actually my first IBJJF no-gi worlds. This dude blast doubled me and took my back and choked me out. And a couple years later, I get my redemption. I'm like, you know what? I can go out there and be like, let me get my fucking takedown back. Or I can go out there and be like, let's do some jiu-jitsu and show you how good I got in the last 2 years. So I talked to my coach. I was like, are you cool if I pull? He was like, go for it. So pull guard and use it to sweep and submit. So I just think that's kind of that's more of a true like preview of what I might have in store for the PGF, because I'm planning on doing a lot more jiu-jitsu, because just strategically it doesn't make sense to go at it. Like 6 minutes is not a long time. I learned that in season 5. I thought I could go out there and just outpace people and break them. It's hard to break a really good grappler in just 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put a pace on no matter what, because even if I'm on bottom, I'm going to be constantly knocking you off balance and looking to attack. But I think I'm going to have to get to like positions in which I can quickly enter into like submissions, whether it be leg locks or sweeping to get to the top with certain control. But just like a lot of times too, I feel like in season 5, I kind of bully wrestled some people and they just get on bottom and they shell up.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm trying to open you up and make you give me something to submit you with. Whereas I'm going to change my game up a little bit and get underneath a lot of people and make them open up, because they're going to be on top. So,
Well, remember Brandon's yellow flag of death too. So add that too as well. If you make them stall, there's a reset.
True. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely something that's new that wasn't a part of the last season. So, I mean, I got to take that into account as well when I'm thinking strategy and everything for this season.
And by the way, you said earlier that you made a comment about people possibly mentioning that, oh, he's just a wrestler. I don't know. I doubt this is true in every case, but most of the people that I come in contact to that have that that point of view don't know how to wrestle very well. And that's a little bit of a copium.
He's just a wrestler. Yeah.
All he's got is wrestling. Like, he decides when you go down. Yeah, that's all he's got.
Yeah.
He just knows how to grapple from the other main position.
Correct. He just knows how to beat the shit out of you. Okay.
How big of an advantage do you feel like it will be going into season 6, with, you know, being that you're a veteran and you've done season 5? It's not your first PGF. You have experience with the format. Do you think that's going to help you going into this next season?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, because when I first did the PGF, my first season 5, my first time doing it, I'd like heard about it here and there. You know, I guess it has like slowly been growing each season. And when I heard about the format, I was like, absolutely, you know, like I'm interested, but it's kind of totally different than what I anticipated when I got there and was like a part of it. It was great. It was a lot of fun. But I just think it's like you think you're prepared for 3 matches a day for 4 days until, like, you know, you're doing it. You know?
What day is it? What day does it kick in where you're like, damn, man, I'm having some battles? Because you're not having 3 matches against scrubs at your gym that you know you could fuck up every time you roll with, you know? These are guys that are getting after it.
Yeah, I mean, and even last season, you know, like it was tough. And it depends because, like, you never know. Like in last season, you know, Kevin goes out and pops his ankle the first night, and that can happen at any moment. Somebody can get an injury, and you know that's something to take into account as well. Like if you're in a position where it's like, you know, I might be able to kind of tough this one out, but also I got 3 more days of 3 matches a day. Is it better to just go ahead and give this tap and survive the rest of the week, or do I let it break and go to a draw or whatever it might be, you know? So there's a lot to take into account for like the strategy of the entire week. And the physical aspect, I mean, you're feeling it day 3, day 4, absolutely. Day 2, you know, you're still kind of on that high of the first couple of days, and you're like, fuck it, let's roll. But then, you know, day 3, you wake up and you go to like that open mat or whatever, you start foam rolling and you're like, oh shit, you know, like
Speaking of that,
2 days of this. So yeah, I think it's going to be an advantage because I know what to expect. And some of these guys, they've been grappling a long time too. So I don't think they're going to overlook the fact that it's definitely a physical toll on your body, that many matches. But I think it gives me a little bit of an edge that I've felt it before.
speaking on that, how much of a calculated risk was it for you? I've been meaning to ask you guys that. How much of a calculated risk was it for you knowing you're going into the PGF and still deciding to do ADCC? Like, I definitely get wanting to just get after it, but knowing you have a week long of what you just described where you definitely could get popped the first day, second day kind of thing as far as injuries go, ADCC has got to be super similar. And again, like you mentioned before, less than a month coming up. How was that a huge risk, or was it just a kind of full send kind of deal?
I mean, it crossed my mind, but, you know, ADCC trials, it's been a goal of mine since I watched Andy Varela in the 2022 trials. So when I was sitting on my couch and watching him, you know, do his thing few years back, I was like, yeah, I want to be out there next fucking trials. I'm there. And so I kind of set that goal like in my mind a long time ago. So there was no way I was going to miss it. Yeah, it definitely crossed my mind. It's like, well, what if you get hurt? What if you ruin your opportunity for PGF? But it's like, I ain't going to live my life scared either. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do what I can to try to prepare my body, which my boy Asim right here, my strength and conditioning coach, does a great job of building my suit of armor. So he likes to say, and making sure that at least there's always the inherent risk of injury, but I'm going to go into it prepared with strong and durability. And I mean, I came out honestly pretty unscathed other than some little scratches, jam fingers and shit, but structurally I feel fucking great. So I'm already rolled right into my camp for PGF.
Sweet. Nice. Is PGF the next thing you have coming up, or is there any onesie twosies in between?
Nah, PGF's the next thing. It's
Sweet.
all EBI overtime training and, you know, sub only, just hunting submissions for the next month until we get out there.
Awesome.
So with some of the rankings from my esteemed colleagues here, some people would say that you might be like an underdog. Do you like coming in on like an underdog position, or are you kind of going out there and like proving proving them wrong. Like, you're not the underdog. You're the top dog.
Yeah, I mean, I can obviously understand why I would seem as an underdog in the field that we have, because we got a whole roster full of killers.
Yeah.
And I kind of like it though. I mean, even if I was ranked higher, I try to find ways to piss myself off and be like, this is what, it just keeps me
slamming his hand in the door before he goes out there.
So like, I love it. It's like, I don't have anything to lose.
Yeah.
Coming out ranked really low, I can come out and every match is an opportunity to prove somebody wrong, and that's enough for me right there. I love that shit.
Nice.
So
When we talk about doing things like you said, hey, I put the ADCC is my goal, and that's a lot of dudes' goals who's grappling. The ADCC has a lot of prestige. It's been around for a long time. A lot of big legends have come through and went on historic ADCC runs. We talked about that last show. So, of course, it holds a lot of honor and value in that sense. You get a lot of street cred, like that guy's an ADCC champ. But, how does it feel to walk away with $40,000 at the end of a few days of work too? Like, because for me, it's like, I don't know if I want prestige. I can't eat prestige. You know what I mean? Like, I can't put that in my hand and take a bite of it, but 40 G's can get me a lot of sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that factor in for you at all?
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, the scale that this is at now, like the money that's on the line is enough to make an impact, on anybody's life, like a significant impact. So yeah, that's definitely a factor that's a little bit different. The ADCC is like the guts and the glory,
Sure.
And PGF is too, because it's a fucking gauntlet. But it's like, we're going to take this sport that has kind of been underrepresented for a long time and put it in a real position to be like a professional sport and give it the format to where people can enjoy it as a consumer. And I think that it's just like, it's part of being a trailblazer. It's part of becoming a pro athlete. It's a huge thing that the PGF is doing. And, it's different than what the ADCC motivation is.
I think, and I'm not, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm not positive, but I think that this prize, $40,000, is going to be like 10% of what we see moving forward. I think these prize monies are going to go up. I think the values are going to go up. We already see, it's not Zapatero, it's the other dude out of New York City talking about, we're paying $1 million out to all these athletes. The money, the number's going up, and there's more money involved. There's more eyeballs involved. There's bigger names involved in the sense of on the corporate side. For a long time, jiu-jitsu was this small pie, and we were just robbing each other, basically. It's like, this is mine. No, now it's mine. And we just pass
it was one piece of a theoretical pie at that point.
Yeah.
And that was getting split.
You're right. 100%. And now there's like some outside investment coming in where, it's something viable where you could actually go like, hey, I'm going to live as a competitor and actually live, and not fucking eat raviolis out of a can and live with 6 other dudes. You know what I mean? Like, which is important because you guys are putting the same amount of work into preparation as any other athlete in any other sport. It's not like you're not. It's not like you're showing up to the gym 3 times a week and then fighting for the championship. That's not happening. Like, these guys are showing up to the gym 3 times a day.
Yeah, if not more of a risk, because you're literally risking your neck
every single time,
or a limb.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely not out of the question to see much higher numbers thrown out there. Yeah. And I got to say, for a guy like yourself who's on the come up, that's got to be exciting to know that, like, you're in your 2nd season, the money starts flowing, you represent well, there's a strong chance you'll be back, and there's a strong chance the prize money's even higher. Does it ever get to a point, Cam, where you're like, I don't think I'm going to do the trials? Like, what's your number? What if, you know what I mean? Like, what if the prize was $400,000? You'd be like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do trials this time. Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a risk reward thing, I guess. You know, it starts getting to a scale like that, and you realize it's an opportunity to like seriously provide a great life for myself. And I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a family man. I got 2 daughters, a wife, and they're
Nice.
huge supporters. You know, they want me to do what I love and be able to live our lives comfortably too. So, you know, they all got champagne taste, just like myself. You know, they're breaking the bank.
Typical. Typical.
We want Taylor Swift, Daddy.
They got a chokehold on my wallet, and you know, I'm trying to keep stuffing that thing full. So, as PGF comes, and like you said, this is the first season, and it's already at $100,000 team prize plus the 20 grand at the finale. Like, it's partnered with the UFC Fight Pass now.
Amazing.
It's just, and this is the first like big season.
Yeah, right.
They've grown each season. Season 5 to season 6 is like, it's on a new level now.
Yeah.
It's global, it's big, and it's only going up from here. Because you know, the interest around it, I feel like, is just growing like crazy. Because again, it's just such a cool idea of, it's like a real sport. You got people following along at home. They're getting invested in the storylines of each fighter, and throughout the week, they see their ups and their downs. And you know, I'm hoping that this season brings a little more of the behind-the-scenes stuff too. You know, like on Monday night we did this, and you fucked up in this position, and then coach, whatever legend coach you have, pulls you aside and shows you a thing or two, and then you implement it the same night. It's like, that's fucking perfect, you know.
No other sport is like that.
How much coaching do you think is going to be going on?
I think it'll depend on the grappler and their style, and also, you know, how they vibe with the coach. You know, I mean, I got really high hopes to get out here and learn as well as compete. I think it's a great opportunity. You know, I said this a while back, but like, people pay hundreds of dollars to go like pay seminars to learn from these people, and should we get paid to come out here and compete and learn from them for a week? And it's just like a dream, man. And you know, so like I said, I think depending on which coach you're lined up with and how that fits your style, and also, like I say, how you vibe with the coach, I think you can take a lot away from it, and come back, you know, with a lot of knowledge in the bank.
Do you have a coach in mind that you'd like to get picked by? You got a coach that you don't want to get picked by? You're like, oh man.
No, I mean, there's no coach on this roster that I would be like, fuck, you know. You can't lose in this situation. Every one of them has a rap sheet of legendary accomplishments, and I have to say, stylistically, I think Andre, just again, kind of to the ADCC thing, like, he's such an ADCC legend. ADCC is really what like grew my interest in the sport, especially no-gi, coming from wrestling. The rule set kind of favors wrestling. And I'm like, they penalize them for sitting down, you know? Fuck
You're like, hell yeah.
But like, so yeah, I mean, Andre and I just think stylistically that would match up well. Hodger, of course, being the GOAT, like, anything he says is going to be gold. And you know, Eddie, I'm sure I can learn a thing or two from him, and Chada, I think, I can learn something from all of them, honestly. But if I was selfish and I got my pick of the litter, I think I'd have to say Andre.
If any coach had to step in, let's say there was a player injury, and they're like, man, you got to fill in for your guy right now. Which coach at this juncture? I know Eddie's a little bit up there now. Like, you know, Eddie's an awesome dude, but Eddie's like 52. I don't know how old Hegan is. But Hegan's getting up there too, to be honest. Hodger's probably still within kicking ass range, and Andre for sure. I mean, you know, Andre's Andre. You know,
Hegan is 57.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fuck with any of those guys ever. But you know, I think we're looking at Hodger or Andre if they got to step in. Can you imagine? You're like, okay, Cam, you're up next, and by the way, Hodger's replacing. You know, John Combs, good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say it's one of those guys, because they're, you know, Andre's fresh off ADCC 22, so he's not far off competition age. Hodger was training with Gordon, you know, there for a little while. There were some clips of them training and stuff, and he looked like he hadn't skipped a beat. So,
yeah.
I mean, if, you know, that'd be the case, it would just be another opportunity to full send against a legend and see what I can do.
Hodger is 42. Andre is 41.
Yeah.
By the way,
that's still kicking ass age. Like a dude, yeah, they could ramp that up real easy for a few minutes. They might not be able to pull it off for 4 straight days, but 1 6-minute match, goddamn.
especially with some awesome
Rabbit out of the
supplements.
hat.
Yeah, some supplements. Get him some acai.
Yeah.
What's coming up for you after PGF season 6? Is there anything on your plate or on your schedule that you got that you got to start preparing for, at least in the back of your mind?
I mean, I just kind of try to stay busy as I can. I was going to roll right in. I think American Nationals is for IBJJF is in June. I know my team will have a group of guys and girls going out there. So kind of just as more of a team thing. We want to go out there and try to put up some team points and show what our academy has built here in Northern Virginia, because we got some killers in our room. There's a lot of good grappling in the DMV area, and specifically in my gym, Ascend Jiu-Jitsu under Sean Stoopman. I think American Nationals will probably be the next thing after that. Take a few weeks off anyways, or at least take my foot off the gas for a little bit, and then start training for that. And then, more ADCC Opens. There's going to try to hit Orlando, Dallas, I think, are on the calendar. Anything really. Anything I can sprinkle in the mix as well. I'm open to whatever. But
how tricky is it being a professional grappler and trying to make a living off of the competitions? Because like the ones you're mentioning, it's great to win American Nationals. I mean, that's a great one to win. That's a big feather in your cap. The Opens are great too, but those they don't pay. You got to pay to do those tournaments. You're going to pay to do those tournaments. You know what I mean? How hard is it to get by just on a competitive salary without having to teach or do private lessons or do seminars and all those other things you gotta use, which take away from your time to train?
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy. There's, like you said, there's not much. There is no money involved in those tournaments as far as prize money. Thankfully, I've got some great sponsors that help me out, with travel, with registrations and stuff. So, like, my team Epic Roll I've been rocking with for a long time. They help me big time. Two Minds, who's another one of my sponsors that covers all my travel. So, like, thankfully for those guys, and it's like, that's another, it's growing as jiu-jitsu is growing as a sport. Athletes are finding ways to get sponsorships, and that's the way to do this too, because I just like to compete. The money for me, I've been wrestling my whole life. There wasn't shit for wrestling money. Nobody gave a fuck about wrestling.
Still don't.
Almost still,
Yeah.
No, it's the first sport to get cut when Title IX comes along.
Yeah.
The Olympics are all for glory. So, like, my whole life, I hadn't been doing it for the money. Like, I've been doing it because I love this shit. And it's one of the things is I feel like it's my gift, I'll do it money or not. Money's icing on the cake. And ultimately, if I can make a living off of it, I'm going to pursue the shit out of that. But, I think, either way, I'll be doing this. It wouldn't matter.
I feel you. I think that in a lot of ways, we're going to look back at this period of time as one of the best periods of time for grappling, in that there's a professional avenue that's opening up and people are able to take part in that and reap the benefit of it. But the people that are reaping the benefit are all people who are doing it because they really love it. Nobody got into it because they're like, I'm going to get rich, because it's just not there, Yeah. So it's like everyone's still doing it for the love of doing it. We're all getting together and training and pushing each other. And some guys are better than others. That's the nature of it. Not everyone's going to be a top 5 elite guy. It's just not going to fucking happen, But at this... What's that?
I was going to say, on top of that, the people that eventually, because this is, I think, like you, about to blow up, the people that do get into it just for the money are just going to be meat for all guys like Cam.
Yeah.
For all the 20 guys that are on this PGF 6, everybody else that's after that comes like just for the money is just meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like you said, I mean, all these guys are dogs. They'd be doing this whether there was no money or not.
Yeah.
They got that inside of them. You
Yeah.
throw money in the mix, and it's just like you're throwing gas on a fire.
Yeah, you really are. You really are, man.
It's going to be fireworks. But I think you got to have that. Like, would you do it if there was no money? And if the answer is yes, then you got at least part of what it takes to make it. And
Yeah.
the money's going to come. I think it's kind of just like it. If you're doing it for the right reasons and you're trying to do it, you're putting your heart into it and everything, you're training your ass off, you're making sacrifices, then you just got to trust the process. And I think that's why it's growing the way it's growing, because more and more guys are trusting the process and they're going all in, and the sport is growing and it's creating a lifestyle that can be sustainable as a pro athlete.
Yeah, and it's not just on the competition side. Like, you're seeing guys like Brandon and his partners and guys like him all across the world who are going all in on building a platform and a competitive scene and an infrastructure to actually take this up another level. And it's mostly, I would say, 90% a labor of love. Like, we're putting money and resources into it, not necessarily pulling them out, but I think the common thought is it's getting to a point to where this platform is going to be big enough to actually launch and actually take us somewhere to new heights that we haven't been. And I'm super stoked to be a part of it, man. It's pretty amazing. I got into jiu-jitsu in 2005 just as a scrub, regular dude, not special, just fucking just meat, man. Just meat, dude. Just getting murdered by people. And to see how far it's come just since then to where we are now, it's pretty amazing, man. It's been a great ride. I'm super stoked that I'm still part of it and actually like got my hand like right in the mix still. It's like, yeah, this is fucking dope. So I'm stoked to see you, Cam. I can't wait for PGF Season 6. It's coming up on April 21st. If you are watching or listening, you could get more information by going to PGF World. It's got all the info there. It's going to be an epic weekend, or actually it's going to be a week. It's going to be an epic week. And I can't wait for it. Thank you for coming on the show, brother. Tell our fans how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, so you can hit me up on Instagram. It's Cam _X_Hurd, CAMHURD is my last name. But yeah, you hit me up on Instagram. I'll be posting a lot of stuff. Still got a lot of highlights and shit I got to put up from ADCC. That's where I'll be, sharing all my PGF stuff, keeping people updated, sharing links and whatnot for the PGF. So yeah, hit me up on Instagram. I'd like to shout out to my sponsors, Epic Roll, Two Minds, Peak Performance, Nova Barbell, Tom DeBlas Jiu-Jitsu. I think I got everybody. Team at Ascend Jiu-Jitsu, my coach, Sean Stoopman. Obviously, my family, who's like the reason behind it all. So I'm fucking stoked to be a part of Season 6. Like I said, I got nothing to lose. I think, I feel good about my performance in ADCC, but I'm still not satisfied. And I feel like the PGF is the good opportunity to kind of get that frustration out of my system and really, gas to the pedal, full send, go for playing a different game, opening it up and just letting myself have some fun and let the work that I put in speak for itself.
I'm looking forward to seeing you out there, man. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in a couple weeks, brother.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
All right,
luck,
man.
Cam.
Take it easy,
Good
brother.
luck, man.
All right, later.
Thank you.
That is nice, man.
I'd love to get out. I didn't realize it was. I didn't realize he was coming from Northern Virginia, where I basically grew up for a long time.
I knew as soon as you said Northern Virginia, you're gonna
I was like, man, I want to come
get a
roll with
little
you.
half chub. Oh,
No. I don't.
Virginia.
I don't like Virginia, but I would be more than happy to go roll with them because I get
Yeah.
over there all the time. I go see
Yeah,
friends.
you should, man. Hit him
It'd be a
up.
lot of fun.
I'd like to see a video of him making you vomit
I would love
on the
that.
mat. You would love that. You would love that.
Oh yeah, dude.
That'd be cool. Oh man.
I would talk a bunch of shit that I didn't mean, but I'd pretend to mean before, like on the plane. Like, I'm gonna fuck Cam Hurd up, and then the video of him making me puke would be sick.
Yeah.
He looked great at ADCC, man. Like, these guys are the level of jiu-jitsu that's happening right now and the speed of jiu-jitsu it's faster than what it used to be. Jiu-jitsu is moving towards a wrestling pace.
Oh, yeah.
And the jiu-jitsu guys that are just pure jiu-jitsu guys, some of them are having serious trouble with it.
A couple of them already been left behind.
They can't
as far
keep
as
up.
the videos go.
The speed, it's not that they don't know how to grapple. It's not that they suck. It's that the speed that the movements are taking place at, it's a higher speed that almost feels like it's out of control. And you've seen, like, Nicky Rod was a dude who kind of brought that. You saw that kind of at the lightweights, but at the lightweights, everyone's going fast,
Right.
you know? But you saw that Nicky Rod was one of the dudes who really exposed that. It's like, hey, man, I'm a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, but I'm going to fucking wrestle and submission grapple you at a speed that you're not ready for. Right. His brother's great at it. J-Rod is like a perfect example of that. The Tackett brothers are fantastic. No hesitation. No hesitation.
Snap.
Like, the thing about wrestling is that you can't hesitate.
No.
There's no passivity. You can't take a step back. You can't sit down. You can't put your knee on the ground. It's go.
Send it.
It's go. The message is always yes, go. That's the message in wrestling. And in jiu-jitsu, the message is like, well, maybe, let me think. And that's changing now. It's changing. The attitude now is like, go. We'll see what happens. Get in the fucking water. We're going.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I was really impressed with the Tackett brothers. Just like, Varela's already that kind of grappler, right? If he puts you on your back foot, he's gonna dominate you. He's gonna run the match on you. And that's how he kind of was getting through his matches. He had everyone on the back foot, and then he comes up against Tackett. And Tackett starts attacking first. Tackett's making Varela defend the takedown. Tackett has zero hesitation, doesn't care where you end up, has total confidence in his grappling, believes no matter what happens from his entry that he's going to have a way to get around it and to work around it and to move around it and to be fast enough to put you where it needs to put you. And he did it. It was impressive.
Listen,
like,
I know
damn.
that I'm going to wrestle fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, he did. It's impressive to watch. It's just really neat to see, man. And there's still a lot of cool shit. You can go back and watch the old ADCCs, and you could see Rafa Mendez go on a run, and you could see, Crone Gracie, and you could see Marcelo, and all the giants like Braulio. They did some real fucking cool stuff back then, man. But the pacing now, it's different. It's changed. And if you're not training for that, and you're not at least learning how to deal with that, you're going to have a real hard time.
Do you feel like Marcelo Garcia was closer to this style of jiu-jitsu that you're...
He was pretty damn fast.
He's pretty fast.
I think Marcelo was playing some positions maybe that were being played, but maybe not to the level in Nogi. He played a lot of X. He played a lot of single X. Yeah. He did a lot of butterfly. He had a very good hand fighting system that wasn't exactly widespread. He did a lot of straightjacket stuff that, it makes sense now, but on the timeline, not everybody knew it or was doing it. And you're watching it, and there's no John Danaher breaking each step down, telling you what to do and how to do it. And you're like, what's going on? You're almost not putting the pieces together because it looks a little chaotic. And then over time, you're like, oh, that's what Marcelo was doing. Yeah. He was way ahead of us, But I think, he moved at a fast pace. Yeah. Rafa Mendez moved at a fast pace. But those guys now, like, I don't know how I'm sure they would do well. They're elite level grapplers. It's just, stylistically, it would be interesting to see like a Rafa Mendez go up against somebody that's competing actively right now. And Rafa's not very old. It's not like he's out of the game. He could very easily start training and get back into the game real quick. I think it'd be awesome if he would, but I don't know if he's gonna. So, but yeah, man. It's stoked. Jiu-Jitsu's doing some real neat stuff right now. And it's funner to watch. Yeah. For the fan standpoint, they want to see stuff like that. I showed my dad. I showed him at the time. They said, this is the greatest jiu-jitsu match that's ever happened. It was Buchecha and maybe it was Leandro Lowe or one of those guys. Like these two big,
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Yeah, two real big names in the gi world, and it was like, this is the best match, and it was exciting if you watch the gi. But I just, hey, Dad, watch this match. It's exciting. My dad, he's like, I don't know who won. Who won this match? Like, why did that guy win? It made no sense to him.
Porn for.
It made no sense to him at all. But if you let your pops watch ADCC, unless it's one of the weird bullshit rule issues that they had, there was some inconsistent scoring, but outside of that, it's pretty clear cut. Like you can kind of figure out who's dominating the match.
Right.
I think with ADCC, what people forget is it's submission wrestling. It's not submission jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Okay, and that's where people kind of mess up. That's why there's so much favoritism given to the turtle position in that the hips are not on the mat. Anytime the hips are touching the mat, ADCC wise, it's like that's not good for you.
Yeah.
You know, but if you keep your hips off the mat, you're like, okay, it's still in play. You turtle up, you're still in play. You're not down yet. And that's kind of the big push that jiu-jitsu players have a little tricky time with, because we accept our hips being on the ground.
Yeah.
It's just normal. It's like we put ourselves there all the time. We accept that position real easily. So, you know, and that might be why MMA guys tend to do a little bit better in events that are slated that way, because there's such an impetus to not be on their back,
To get up.
to constantly get up and fight for that top position.
So there's not a whole lot of strategic advantages when you're on your back getting your shit.
I mean, you can do it. It can be
For sure.
played, you know, for sure it can be played, for sure. And there's guys that are good at it, but ADCC just doesn't really favor you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you got to go take it if you're going to play that way.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you any advantage or benefit from being down there. And that's the tricky part. Bree Stick, who is out in Stockton and teaches for us out there, you know, she's fucking great, dude. She's one of the best female competitors out on the scene right now. Lost a real tough match in the first round because, you know, the girl she went up against tried to take down. They kind of ended up in a weird scramble.
Yeah.
Bree was trying to get up on the back, and she couldn't quite make it onto this girl's back, and Bree's hip was touching the mat. And so eventually when the match ended, there were no points. Then the side judge at the end of the match awarded points to the other girl, basically saying, like, she took you down because your hips were touching the mat, more or less.
Yeah, right.
That same rule, though, was not applied in the Pixley Adam, I can't remember his name. It already dropped out of my head. But there's a very controversial scoring decision that took place where one of the dudes had a sweep right at the end, comes up on top. We were talking about it this morning in morning class. And it was very clear, like the guy's hips are on the ground. It should have been points. And the ref's like, not today.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. You know,
No good.
And the you know, while that's going on, Jake Watson is commentating with Jay, who's like the head referee for ADCC, and he's commentating instead of judging. He's commentating.
Yeah.
And Mo Jassim is judging. He's in the judge's seat, is what I heard. And so it's like, man, that's a major fuck up. Like, this is at a high level, man. This dude lost his shot at getting into ADCC because of this. And the two main guys that this should not have moved past, one was commentating, and the other one, I don't know what happened. It's just, it was very like, dude, ADCC rules are already a little tricky enough in the sense that you got to kind of like study them and understand them. And even when you think you got it, you got to like go back again and go like, oh, wait, do we really understand how this works? Okay, this is good. We think we got it. And then you show up and you lose because you think you got it and you don't got it. It's like, dude, the rules can't be that mysterious.
Right.
You shouldn't need a lawyer to argue your case for you. It should be a little more clear cut than that. Like, there's no advantage to having mysterious rules.
Yeah.
Just make them straightforward. Be consistent about how you apply the rules, and then everyone will be happy. But, you know, it didn't happen this weekend, unfortunately. It's still a great event, still great grappling, but damn, dude, these people work a long time. Bree worked 2 years, man. They're going 2 years to get an opportunity to do this. And then you lose on just, you know, a bullshit thing.
Some technicality.
Or just, the judge just decided, like, hey, man, I'm not giving it to you. I don't know why. I don't know why I don't like your hair.
Just
I don't know.
'cause.
Subconsciously, I don't like your name.
Of the match.
I don't like people's name if it starts with the letter B. So it's just like not going to happen today.
Yeah.
Not a personal thing. I have one rule.
Yeah. Yes, I have one rule. And you broke it immediately when you were born with your name.
Call your parents. It's on them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
You know, you're putting your work in and you're trying to get there, and it's like,
You
not
just got to
today.
change your name.
Yeah, right. But, you know, I'm stoked for things like the PGF.
Me too.
I think the PGF is going to hit a home run. This is what I
Man,
personally
we've been
think.
hyping it up so much, and I'm so ready for it.
I
man.
really
Me
do,
too.
man. I do. I haven't been around long enough to see all of the submission grappling things that started. I remember there was a few like in the earlier 2000s, pre-2005, and they were like one and done. They'd do one show, and then that was it. And mostly it was like they didn't have streaming technology down.
Right.
Couldn't really live stream it. No, you weren't going to sell a live gate. You're not going to have 30,000 people come watch. Like there weren't even 30,000 people doing jiu-jitsu in America, you know? There's no way that's going to happen.
There was 5 black belts.
There were good matches. You had like Jacare and Randy Couture. You had some high-level dudes, man, going up against each other. It was entertaining matches, but it's just
dream matchups.
more. I think so. Yeah, they just couldn't get it off the ground.
Dang.
And Metamoris came along. Metamoris was a great show. It was very new. It was well produced. They treated the athletes like they attempted to treat the athletes well, except for the ones they didn't pay. But they were making attempts to move in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay. And EBI popped up and they were doing the same thing, and then Polaris jumped out and they were doing the same thing. So PGF is the natural next step out of those things, and I think it's actually a result of all of those different promotions trying different rule sets and trying different things and trying to figure out what works. Metamoris had no points, but they also had no decisions, so it could be a draw. So you could have 10 fights on the card and you could have 8 draws.
Yeah, then it's like soccer. Who the fuck wants to watch
You
that?
don't want to watch a main event that draws.
0-0,
You
yeah.
don't want to watch it, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it. It's pure, but nobody wants to watch that. And, you know, we've seen people game EBI. We've seen people stall, get to the end, try to get escape time or something. That happens too.
Yeah, I mean, there's no perfect rule set, right? Like everything.
PGF is perfect.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I think from a fan standpoint,
Closest it's got so far, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it has a lot of value. You get like the team squeeze. You're like, man, I'm a team sports guy. You got a team, but then if you got individual athletes you root for, there's that individual component of the tournament that makes sense.
There's all of that. There's not only that. It's not only that they thought about the rule sets that came before them to be like, okay, how can we not only streamline this but make it very clear and concise? How can we make it so that it gets to the juiciest bits of what everybody wants to see, both people that are willing to watch it and people that are in it, and also. They have gone through the trouble of figuring out what makes other sports more enjoyable to the watcher to be, or to the observer to be more involved.
Yeah.
So now we just did a draft.
Right.
You can follow each one of these dudes individually on Instagram and keep up with them.
Yeah.
Like Cam just shouted out his Instagram. You can now go to his Instagram and just see what he's up to.
Yeah.
It's just a regular dude. It's not some giant, sort of football team where the chances that you're going to meet any of these guys or that they're going to remember who you are, like that's zero. And I don't begrudge that, but I mean, it's just a whole different thing.
Isn't that crazy for you, Coach? Like, just being a grappler and just being able to like advertise yourself out there to millions of people. Like, I mean, who would have thought it? Even I don't know, even like 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Hard to do.
Yeah, I didn't consider that either. It's nuts.
It's jumped. It's made a huge, huge jump. And I mean, MMA pulled it up. Like the rise of the UFC pulled up. It put a lot of eyeballs on grappling because if you're a filthy casual sitting at home and you want to like you're watching fights and you want to like I want to do something. And it's like, yeah, you can go do Muay Thai, but I'll tell you the truth. Most grown-ass adults who didn't grow up like training or getting after it, they don't want to get hit in the face.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't fucking want that. It sucks.
It really sucks.
It's not fun. Okay. So they're like, I don't want to do that, but they can do jiu-jitsu. They're not going to go wrestle. They will not go join a wrestling club as a full-on adult who never wrestled.
No.
That doesn't happen either.
Yeah.
Right? Not going to happen.
Way too intense.
But you know what they could do? They could come in here and butt scoot.
Yeah.
They could do that for 6 years and be promoted to purple belt. You know what I mean? They could teach the morning class. They could do whatever the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying, though? So it's like, it's very accessible to people, and I think it drew a lot of people into jiu-jitsu. That's what I can see, and, it could. Hell yeah. The more grapplers, the better. And it's good for the UFC. It just opens their talent pool up.
Right.
They want to pull from these. The reason they invest in things like, hey, let's put PGF on Fight Pass, because they're looking for the next superstar.
They're farming.
They're hoping they could pull a guy out of the PGF and go, look at this fucking guy we found. What an investment.
PGF,
yes, dude.
Which one of these young guys is willing to take the most brain damage in about 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck yeah.
I think someday we will see somebody from Power Slap in the octagon.
You mentioned that a couple podcasts.
You think
ago.
so?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I think
so,
they're
too.
going to pull somebody out of there someday and
So
put them in
too.
the octagon.
And that's going to be his like signature move.
It's gonna, and the whole investment at that point will be worth it. Once that happens,
If
it'll
that,
be
happens,
like,
one
if that
guy?
happens once, every investment they've made is great.
it's gonna be like cherry.
Dana's
You
going to
did
be
it.
like, you fucking see that?
Yes, see, yes, say, yeah, dude. I think it's great. You know,
Wow, that's crazy.
just keep investing, keep
I
the money.
I don't know
flowing.
anybody from Power Slap that could possibly fight.
Not yet. You don't. Not yet. You will.
They got like
Have
a
you
really
seen-
Let one
strong
of them
right
bubble slap you.
haymaker.
The slapping has evolved, by the way. Just like combat jiu-jitsu slapping has evolved, it's the same thing has happened in Power Slap. Like they got techniques, they got moves, they're training for it,
Yeah.
they're practicing. There's guys that are better than other guys. Like this is what's happening. We humans just we like to hurt each other.
We like to take things to the nth degree.
We really like to hit each other a lot. It's
Yeah.
like a big deal to us.
One of
Yeah.
the reasons I don't do it more often is legal repercussions.
Yeah, exactly. I don't personally like getting hit. It's not that fun.
I enjoy
Right.
it.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't mind hitting. Not a big fan of getting hit.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
so you
kinda-
can take it, but you can't give it.
Yep, I can give it, but I
Opposite,
can't
never mind.
take
That's
it.
right.
Yeah,
The other way around.
Just
I
do
am
it.
tired.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I'm excited for PGF, dude. I can't wait to get out there.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do. We're gonna do an hour pre-show and an hour post-show. That's so far. That's the plan.
I'm so incredibly envious.
Well, you know what? My advice to you would be just keep working, saying your prayers, training, taking your vitamins.
Yeah.
Keep putting your time in, you know. And
That's a
then
lot of stuff already.
when
I'm,
you're-
I'm already
He's like, I'm
uninterested.
done.
when you're no
I
longer
got
a,
shit going on.
a garbage blue belt.
That's up to you, dude. That's not up to me.
No, that is up to you.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's
well,
always up
it
to you.
is.
It's not.
Well, you weren't training tonight. You were in your sweats.
She.
I'm in shorts. See, already your perception is wrong.
If you don't have jiu-jitsu gear on, I just go, you're in your sweats.
Well, Helio himself wore a blue, so
Yeah, he did. He wore a blue belt.
I'm all right.
And Hoist wears a blue belt too now, by the way.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm also a blue belch.
A blue belt. Blue belt.
Sorry, that was my Portuguese accent coming out.
Oh, yeah, dude. There's nothing worse than the guy that's the gringo who wants to speak Portuguese to
Yeah.
impress the Brazilians. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the best.
The only Portuguese word I know is blue belch.
Yeah. You know what, guys? I don't think Kamoy is going to call, and I don't think John Combs is going to call. I think they flaked on me, which is, look.
Kamoy
this-
got you twice, man.
He got me twice, dude. I'm going to get him online is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do something.
Gonna clap back, as the kids say. Well, I guess he
guess.
didn't clap at you.
I like Kamoy. I like all
He's
those
really
guys.
funny.
I don't have anybody out there that I don't. I'm doing this for the love of it. It's fun. I'm trying to
Yeah.
promote it, trying to big it up. I talk a bunch of shit that I don't care, dude. Somebody gets mad. It's like, dude, grow up, man.
Yeah, I could
Playing
say
a game
say
here.
screw Kamoy for not coming on, but it's also like I've watched his content for like 3 years. or
I'll be
something.
like, fuck Kamoy. And then I'll be like, you want to come on next week?
Yeah.
He's like, ooh, he's got a new
I don't
video.
care. Yeah, I
that
know.
Move, that move is awesome.
like. Yeah. Fuck Andy Varela. Tag. He's like,
He's got a nasty triangle.
you want to hang out?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But, you know, good times. I'm excited. I'm really working hard to try to big this up as much as we can.
I want to see how they do the draft, man. I think that is going to be so interesting. Like,
Be in the castle. Watch season 5. They did the draft on season 5. You'll get a preview of how it, like, kind of how it plays out.
yeah.
I'm interested in the combine. I want to see how that turns
They're
out.
not doing the combine this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not going to do it. They decided against it. So, yeah,
So what are you excited about now?
Nothing.
No.
nothing. I think they should give them an aptitude test. Like, make them alphabetize some words.
I would love to see them
You think
like,
so?
recreate the
give them.
Will Smith and Men in Black when he goes into the first.
Yeah.
That first, they all have the weird chairs and the one table, and they have to do some just monotonous, stupid shit.
But I want it to be real low-level bonehead stuff because you
Nothing
know these
related
guys are
to
gonna mess
jiu-jitsu.
it up. Like,
Yeah.
balance a checkbook. Here's 10 transactions.
shit.
Sally bought 3 apples for 23 cents each, like something like that. Give them a little word problem. Maybe ask them to name, like,
Spell the word lugubrious.
yeah, name all 50 states. Like, who can get the most? Like,
Ruh-roh.
oh, Elijah got 13. No, I'm just kidding. Something like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then use that. Be like, okay, we know how they are physically, but how are these guys mentally?
Man,
Like,
that
where the
reminds
fuck
me,
is Jamie? He's in the bath.
that reminds me of like, has a cop ever pulled you over and like done a field sobriety when they ask you to do the alphabet backwards?
Never. That would be hard, though.
Bro, they've done that for me, and it's like, dude, this is not easy.
That's
Like,
hard when you're not drunk.
Yeah.
What is that? How fast are you supposed to be able to do this in?
I have no idea.
I'm under the impression no one has ever done it.
I can do it. I
don't-
practiced it.
I don't think so.
I did it. Like, I had to do it for this cop, like, backwards. Took a while.
It's not that bad. I bet I could do it in a minute.
I think I'm projecting because I'm thinking about it.
You think you could do it in a minute?
Could I do it? No.
I could do it in a minute.
Ooh.
We have an extra minute.
Time. Put me on the timer. I bet
Let's
I
see.
could do it.
Let's put him.
Okay.
1 sec.
Tell me when it's time to go.
3, 2, 1.
Z, Y, X, V, U, T, S, R, Q, P, O, N, M, L, K, J, I, H, G, F, E, D, C, B, A.
27 and a half
You missed
seconds.
the W.
Fuck! I'm going to jail! I'm fucking drunk! Damn it.
I'm God's drunkest driver.
Omar's just sitting over there laughing.
I was
knowing
just like, I'm
fucked,
gonna
I
wait.
fucked W up right out of the gate,
Yeah.
To
dude.
keep myself on track with you, I was thinking phonetics. I was like, where's whiskey?
TUVWX. Yeah, I skirted right by it.
Zulu, Yankee, Utah.
Get in the car, kid.
Get in the car.
Guys, thanks for coming, man. I think it's time to wrap it.
All right.
Good.
Good work. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Andrew. Make sure you check out Grappling Hour. It's on YouTube, Instagram. It's yours truly with Rafa Sparza from Verbal Tap MMA Comedy Podcast and Jake Watson, who you've probably listened to this weekend on Flow Grappling doing ADCC Trials. He's a great dude. I love working with that guy. I love working with Raf. All good guys. So please check that out. Check out Inside BJJ. Check out Cultist. Check out everything. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Later.
See you guys.